Hello, everybody. I'm Will,
And I'm Kristen.
and this is I'm watching Wolfpack, Season 1, Episode 4.
Fear and pain.
Well,
if we know one thing.
I was going to say, the Ram is out of both.
The Ram is donezo, unfortunately.
This is a weird show.
It's a really weird show. It's much weirder than I thought it was going to be.
Well, parts of it are like, I don't know if that's how I would have done any of this.
Yeah.
And then other parts of it are working. I'm the most in. I'm large, in spite of the slight uncanny quality of it, I'm the most in now. There are like 3 or 4 things in this episode that really grabbed my attention.
Yeah.
The biggest being the last bit of the show.
Yeah, that the wolf is like keeping all the bodies in like a den that's in that abandoned building.
Officer Ramsey was looking for information for what happened to Officer Trent Miller, and because he was missing, and she had his number almost written on her.
It was so fucking funny because she was talking to Officer Jang and she was like, does he always do stuff like this? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she was like, ha, cut the bullshit. Was he going over there to beat a confession out of children? And she was like, because if so, absolutely not. And also you can find him on your own time and he's off the task force, bitch.
That's a thing that I liked about this is we got a lot of Ramsey in this episode. But she, like, found the scene of the crime where the werewolf smashed him. Also, some of y'all need to chill. I think the effects are fine.
They're fine.
Being able to identify that you're looking at a special effect does not mean that it's a bad effect.
It's fine. And they're all consistent, so I'm not mad.
It's very consistent. Yeah. I do enjoy the neon lights kind of in the background. It's very sort of, we're in a between Teen Wolf and Riverdale place.
Sure.
And I'm into it. But like when Blake was looking for her brother, there was that giant lime green
on the building
light.
Next door.
I really liked that. And it helps to give the show sort of an identity and a shorthand. It's just, I really enjoy visual cues.
Yeah.
That sort of, because again, there will be lots of Teen Wolf comparison, but Teen Wolf was good at that. If you create your own sort of reality, you can get away with storytelling cheats and tricks and stuff like that.
Well, it's the same thing.
A visual shorthand is really...
It's the same thing that we talk about with the Lord of the Rings versus other, like, Game of Thrones, you know, where it's like the Lord of the Rings movies are excellent and they are dark, but you can see what's happening because there is a light source somewhere, whereas Game of Thrones, it's like looking in bog water sometimes.
We're not huge on realism.
No,
like, especially in genre.
It's a fantasy show.
Higher the better.
You do whatever. I want this to look like a Joel Schumacher Batman movie.
Say what you will, one of the best interpretations of Gotham City. So,
and we're talking about Batman and Robin.
Both. But it like then cuts to the werewolf climbing up the outside of the building, dangling his corpse. And the way it was shot, you just see the corpse at first.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like lurching upwards. And then the camera kind of starts tilting up so you can see parts of the werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really into it. And then you're right, it like drug the body across the
building that the kids were in last week.
Well, because remember, it was like kind of
skulking around.
Yeah, because they are skulking around its den. But that is insane, the notion that it's keeping the bodies.
Yeah, I'm like very curious why. Because you would think he'd be eating them or something.
But then he like jumped down with them. I don't know, weird.
Super weird.
And we kind of love
I do.
Weird.
I like that it's something I haven't seen before, which is super interesting. Also, the preview for next week... Which is something
that I think this needed. This needed a jolt of...
Yeah. The preview for next week, one of them said, he's killing for you now. And that's also very intriguing.
Because they're very certain it's their father. And again, I think I've said
convinced.
This. If that's the case, then I accept that. But I kind of know better with these types of stories than to
Except
take
the first explanation.
Yeah.
I agree.
The second thing that I really liked about this episode was Luna's subplot with the horse.
Mm-hmm.
We were really put out by the pain, the fear and the pain all the animals were in the first episode. I now understand it was sort of establishing that that's going to happen on this show and in this world. And in that regard, I'm fine. There, I do hit a desensitization point.
Sure.
And just because Luna thus far, in our opinion, has been the most likable.
She's like the softest. Well, I like Luna and I like Everett, and I'm having a hard time with
I'm fine with Blake.
With Blake and Harlan.
He still triggers me. I think it's by design. I'm hoping that we're gonna do.
He and Blake are just so intractable about the like being a pack and like needing to work together, and Luna and Everett are like, come on, guys.
I think from the inside logic of the show, it makes sense. It's a little bit annoying for us on the outside because we know what this is getting, or we have an idea of where this is going.
I am not saying it doesn't make sense for the characters of Harlan and Blake to be acting this way. I'm just very frustrated that we're like halfway through the season and we're still doing this song and dance. And the other thing too is that it makes the most sense also coming from Luna and Everett wanting this, because Luna has the dad, Garrett, but Everett doesn't have anybody because his mom is a cunt who doesn't love him, and he heard her say as much.
Your jaw was on the floor.
Truly horrible. Truly horrible.
I wanted a piece of work mother.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not like that.
Everett's father was sort of like bleeding with her.
Well, okay, so apparently he has two older siblings as well.
Who were fine.
Who are great. They didn't give her any kind of trouble. But then
Everett got colic.
And he was like, you hate your son, which first of all, that's a thing to throw at your spouse. You hate our son. That's a lot. And she was like, oh, I don't hate him. And she goes, she said, I don't love the teenager. And he was like, well, you also didn't love the child or the baby. And I was like, what the fuck? Unreal behavior.
Basically, she just thinks he's doing all this for attention, even having colic as a baby, because it was just screaming.
That's a legitimate medical condition, as are all of the things he needs medications for now, to which I said, don't have kids if you're not willing to have one with some kind of special needs, because you might. And I'm also like, how has this been happening for 16 or 17 years and the dad is only just bringing it up?
It still makes me wonder what the dynamic of the family is.
Bad?
No. I can't remember the dad's name. Her name is Kendra.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
David?
Maybe.
Yeah. It makes me wonder if David is Everett's father. I think he is, but is he a stepfather?
Oh, I just assumed.
I think Everett is mixed, and so I think he is. But you're right. It is, and you do deal with that with first seasons of TV shows because they are in fact just deciding these dynamics in real time. But I think where I'm at is, especially with this episode, a little bit the previous episode, but with this episode, the show finally started doing things.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Even if they're not what I expected, I was like, at least that is a story.
It's a choice. It's a fucking choice. But that's what I would say too, though, is like even if he is Everett's stepfather, to know about the colic means he has to have been there the whole time.
I think he was. Yeah. I just threw that out there.
No, but you're right. It's like...
Well,
I almost couldn't get over that.
No, you really couldn't. I mean, I was shocked too, but...
If that was something that I heard, I would be like, I'm gonna go move in with my new best friends, Luna and Harlan, even though half of them hate me.
I'm gonna go live with Blake's dad.
In the motel. I'm gonna go live with Blake in a motel.
So I still wasn't fully done with the Luna and the horse thing. Basically, I just think it's interesting that it was her, because you would assume it would have been Harlan, because he has the more strained relationship, and she is so female coded, so feminine, that she
kind of horse girl coded too, a little.
I thought that when they cut to the drawing of I thought, oh, because I keep she's so pretty that usually you think popular girl, But
I think she's a little awkward.
No,
also,
she's a horse girl. I was like, oh, okay.
They are doing so. They have evened Blake's makeup and filter, and she looks beautiful now. But they're doing something still with Luna's makeup, and it's making her too, like, ethereal. It's like the Lucille driver's license photo where it's like so blown out that she barely has a nose. Like, it's very strange. I'm not sure about it.
Those are your observations.
I think they should soften it up a little. Or harsh it up because it's too soft.
They are all face tuned within an inch.
Well, I'm not feeling that way about Sarah Michelle Gellar or
it's
the other park ranger.
Prisha,
yeah.
There's a filter on everybody.
There's a filter on everybody, but I feel like I'm looking at a Barbie doll when I look at Luna's face.
So, anyways, she, as a child, was going out to the stable. She spooked the horse spooked her, and she went to town.
Just clawed it to shreds.
To shreds, you say? Well, how is his wife holding up? To shreds, you say?
And so that is where the silver bullets came from. And again, I appreciated that it was that and not the other way.
Well, she was like, so I am the reason that you have the silver bullets. And he was like, yeah, but you're not the reason I kept them. Which I also enjoy that.
They internalized it. They're very single-minded with it. And I'm like, well, yeah, when you're dealing with cryptids, mythological creatures.
Yeah.
But I was like, it could be for them, but it also could be for because their existence throws Garrett's entire understanding of the natural world into question.
Into chaos.
So the very first thing I would do is silver bullets.
Well, and also Harlan is so butthurt about it, and then he's even more butthurt when he's like, well, the bullets are for our father, and I'm like, you don't, get consistent.
Well, it's like, he is. He's got daddy issues, as does the other one.
But it's like he hates Garrett, but he also, at the beginning, he was giving Luna a bunch of shit for, like, wanting to, like, being interested in their real dad. And he's like, well, you left us. And it's like, they also didn't know they were puppies until this episode. And we found out that Prisha knows about them as well, but they don't know she knows. Mm-hmm. And she has her own silver bullets.
And she is sort of infiltrating, interlooping, or whatever,
she's consulting.
The mission. Yeah. But it's like, it's seemingly kind of at Garrett's behest.
Well, so they need a park ranger consultant. But
I understand, but it's like, I think she's there to divert attention away from, I can't quite put my werewolf on it.
Yeah.
There's something fishy about that girl.
Because when they were in the car together, she was like, let Ramsey find the arsonist and you look for...
Well, and Garrett and Prisha have ironclad stories, alibis, and Kristen Ramsey clocked it because they both said, like, verbatim the same thing about the ram.
Yeah.
And we talked about that in episode 2 or 3, where if people's stories are too corroborated.
Because I mentioned that's like a whole, that's how the person gets caught in an episode of Bones, which is they like describe a noise the exact same way.
I'm still fascinated by Ramsey because I do not think I definitely don't think she's the werewolf. And I don't think she is a werewolf. I'm still split whether or not I think there's something supernatural going on, because in this episode she did go to the place where Connor was attacked, and she
laid down.
She's something.
She's an interesting fucking character, is what she is.
Yeah.
She also has drawings of the wolf, lots of different drawings of different wolf things all over her like murder board. But she's like, it can't be such a thing. And she and Garrett get into a conversation about how it's absolutely a bear. It's not a fucking bear.
Well, I don't think she thinks it is either.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, I don't think she's something supernatural.
But maybe she's just like adjacent, like she knows about it.
Well, no, I don't. I'm going the opposite. I don't think she does, but I think she will be more receptive to it than one would imagine.
Okay, that would be...
I think she's maybe on the periphery enough that, like, if she happened to, I don't know. That
would be good. I would like that.
I'm curious. We do still have Officer Jang around. I enjoy having another, other characters.
Yeah. He is also comically
He's
attractive.
still so hot. I made a comment in our watch party. If you want to watch along with us, you can head on over to our Patreon at the $3 tier and watch the show with us. I made a comment that we have a strange, like, Greek chorus of characters because we still have Phoebe and Tia.
And Austin
Austin's like more.
He's getting more enmeshed in it, but he also is like just kind of around right now.
Phoebe is still so funny to me. She gives me potential.
Yeah.
She absolutely gives me character potential.
That actress is doing something, and I like
hope
it.
that they're not just keeping her around so that they can kill her off in an episode or two.
Yeah,
because I think a couple of I don't think Austin's long for this world. He seems.
That would suck. I like him.
Do you like Austin?
I do.
Maybe,
I do.
I mean, he could be, but
I do, especially now. And I vibed a lot more with the him and Luna thing once they actually had a scene together, because I think the actors have.
I liked the gender swap there.
Yeah.
That because traditionally, the boy would be dreamily drawing pictures of the girl, and like I liked that, and he also was comically kind of unawares, but he seems frazzled. He
can't sleep.
To kind of
because he was asking Everett for pills. Basically, he was like
right now,
just give me something that'll make me sleep right now.
And we still don't have. We saw Connor was attacked. I believe he's dead, but they're still talking about it like it's
like he's missing.
Yeah,
I didn't see him specifically in the pit. Yeah,
Harlan's still going to the club, bar, whatever. He's still seemingly having indiscriminate sex, although they did talk for a minute.
And then they just delightfully kissed under a spotlight.
Extremely well lit.
Inside the ladder to fire truck.
That guy was cute enough.
Yeah.
We're devoting a lot of time to Harlan. I mean, literally in every episode, he's gone to a social event to hook up with some dude.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me wonder if we're doing anything with that, or if that's just now's the
Jeff Davis checkmark.
I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I
twice
agree.
is all we needed, and I think we're 4 in.
We are. It has been once every episode, because in episode 2 he went to the gym, and then the last 2 episodes he's gone to this club.
The gym was just a fantasy,
he was actually at the gym, but he was
hookup.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is the same guy.
I don't know. I cannot tell any of them apart, if I'm being honest.
Blake works, and she was at the parking garage.
Also, those jeans really helped. Those pants she was wearing the last 2 episodes were doing absolutely nothing for her. And she was wearing jeans that fit in this episode. And I was like, look at you!
I liked the Danny stuff this episode. You mentioned that the kid is cute. And
he's very cute.
And it was funny and interesting.
Yeah.
They're interacting. And there was seemingly a man in a creepy van that just gave her $20.
Yeah, no ticket or anything, just $20, and then didn't roll the window down all the way. We couldn't see his face.
I mean, the first place my mind went to is the person that's calling them.
Could be.
Or, I mean, the werewolf is seemingly, I don't know what we're dealing with. I don't know how many.
Well, so I think Blake was worried that guy in the van had stolen Phoebe and Tia. That's why she went to go look for them. Yeah.
I thought that she was just worried that I didn't understand, because I thought they were leaving the parking garage and they were coming into the parking garage.
Yeah.
And then I thought that she thought that maybe her tires were slashed because Phoebe made the comment, but no, it was Phoebe and Tia were going to the movies.
Also, Blake doesn't have a car.
So. Okay.
Oh, and her dad bought her a cell phone, and she didn't take it.
Mm-hmm. And everyone kind of knows about the creep calling them, and just doesn't want them answering the phone anymore.
Yeah.
Is that's largely it? I feel like there was something else that I was.
Well, when Danny went missing, Blake howled, and the other 3, because they got into like,
that was it. They're syncing up.
And Everett was having like a panic attack, and so they all met up in the bathroom, and they were like, "I don't need this," and they all ran away. Harlan and Blake ran away. She was like, "I'm not a wolf," and it's like, you are though. But then, as you said, yes, all their cycles are syncing up, and so they're feeling each other's emotions and stuff. And so when she howled, they all just sort of like came running.
And it kind of is like,
and Everett found Danny.
yeah, I was gonna say as kind of like,
oh, and he got some of the hair off the.
As odd as it was, because part of me is sort of like, where was Danny?
Yeah.
How did Everett find him? Like there was it pulled that Teen Wolf logic where you're like, huh, but also that's not really the point. It's the cool walking away from the explosion. That's the point.
Yeah.
And it did work for me. Everett sort of like treading out of the
well,
smoke.
He also though didn't really remember having
they go into
run
fugue
there,
states.
which is also interesting. I like that as well.
I like that they're a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah.
Overall, the show seems more dangerous, which...
well, it's like we keep getting close-ups of fucking Trent Miller's face.
Like, twice.
Well, and the lady from the bus.
They're not making the choices I would make, or even choices I think they should be making, but I am at a point now where I am, like, in, and I want to watch the
next one. Yeah. I'm having a great time.
Can we get screeners?
Yeah. On Paramount Plus.
Holland Roden, hook us up.
Yeah.
So, I hope it continues down this trajectory, and I hope it gets weird.
Yeah, me too.
Be weird, stay weird and scary. Let's do it. I love having werewolves back on my TV.
Me too.
So, all right. Let us know what you think, unless your opinions are bad, in which case don't. And check out the Patreon if you want to, and check out some of our other content. And otherwise, we'll see you back next week.